Hello students, welcome to the tutorial. Hope 7th class is doing fine. As you all know, we have started with a new chapter, that is soil. Earlier in the class, we had done composition of soil, soil profile and various types of soil. So in today's lecture, we will be covering properties of soil. What we will be doing? Properties of soil. What are the properties of soil? So first property is soil contains air. What is the first property? That is, it contains air. These properties you have already done in previous classes also, I guess. Then it contains water, right? Then number 3 is it allows water to percolate. All the properties I will be explaining you one by one. And number 4 is that this soil, it can absorb water. Right? Now let us start with the very first property, that is soil contains air. Bache, you all know in previous classes also we had done that soil has some special properties, right? These special properties of the soil, they determine what should be the type of the soil. So, first property we will be doing is that soil contains air. We know this, but actually we need to prove this. How will you show that soil contains air? For that, I am having a soil. I have taken a garden soil. Hope you are able to see. Now I am going to add a water in it. You can see bubbles are formed as I add water. Right? I hope you all are able to see the bubbles. Let me do something more. I hope you can see bubbles are there in the water. I think they are visible to you. Yeah. So many bubbles are seen. Right? From where do these bubbles come? Actually, as you know, the soil particles that are present in this soil, they have some spaces in between them. Now, when we add water, what happened? This water tried to take the spaces present between the soil particles. Now, when water goes inside these spaces, the air that was present, it tries to escape. It goes out. And when it escapes, it forms bubbles. Right? This air, when it tries to escape, it expelled in the form of bubbles. This shows that previously soil was having the air. Right? Only then this air will escape and the water will go inside. Right? Hope this is clear to you. This property is proved. Next is soil contains water. This activity we have to do in the lab also, in practical file also. That I will be showing you in tomorrow's tutorial. Just I will give you the little bit of hint what is to be done. How will you show that soil contains water? For that, what you have to do, that we will be showing you tomorrow also, but just listen to it, what you have to do. In this activity, take a beaker and take any kind of garden soil, any type of soil. Now, what you have to do, heat this beaker having the soil. Then, cover it with a lid. Cover the beaker with the lid. After some time, what you will observe that when you remove the lid, water droplets are there on the lid. From where do these water droplets come? We didn't add any water. Actually, water was present inside the soil. When we heat the soil, the water present in the soil, it becomes water vapor. On heating, what happened? Water changes into water vapor. Evaporation takes place. And when water changes into water vapor, then what happened? These water vapors try to go upwards. They rises high. And when they rise high, as lid was there, right? So when they touch it, they condense. Due to condensation, these water vapors turn into water droplets, right? And these are the water droplets that we are able to see. Hope this is clear to all. Tomorrow we will be doing this also. One more example I want to give you regarding this condensation. You might have seen your mothers cooking in the kitchen, right? When they are making some vegetable, if the lid is given on any vessel, when you remove the lid, you see water droplets on the lid. From where do these water droplets come? The water that is present in the vegetable, it when gets evaporated turns into water vapor, and when it touches the lid, condensation takes place. Due to condensation, the water vapor, it changes into water. In the same way condensation take place there also when we did the experiment with the soil. That is why we were able to see the water droplets on the lid. Now next is, it allows water to percolate. First of all, bache, you need to know the meaning of percolate or word percolation. You will be going through this word also a lot of times. What is the meaning of percolation and percolate? Bache, you know soil has some spaces in it, air spaces in it. When water is poured over the soil, when you pour the water over the soil, what happens? Some of the water, it is absorbed by the soil particles, while some water, it goes down. It passes down the soil. I am going to repeat again. Soil has some particles, soil has some spaces inside it, right? Air spaces. When you pour water on the soil, what will happen? Some of the water is absorbed by the particles of the soil, and some of the water which is left, which is not absorbed, it passes down the soil. Now this water which passes down slowly, this process in which water passes down slowly is known as percolation, right? What do we call the process in which water passes down slowly through the soil? Is called percolation of water. And this percolation, it happens in all types of soil, right? But in some cases percolation is less, in some cases it is more. It depends upon the type of soil you are taking. So to calculate the percolation rate of water, we have a formula. Percolation rate of water. How do we calculate it? This is very important. Generally, numericals come in exams based on this formula. What is the formula of to find percolation rate of water? It is the volume of water. Volume of water percolated in soil. Volume of water percolated in soil. It is generally measured in milliliters, right? Divide by, over. Divide by time taken for percolation. It is calculated in minutes. Hope that you are clear with the formula. This formula is clear to you. Based on this formula, I can show you one numerical. Suppose this you have to note down in your notebooks, this formula, because this generally comes in exams, this numerical. So let me give you one example based on this formula, one numerical you have to do. Suppose you take a soil, you add water to it, and after percolation you find out 100 ml of water, it is percolated. Kitna pani percolate hua? 100 ml. 100 ml of water is percolated. right, in 10 minutes. What is the time taken? 10 minutes. So what is the percolation rate? Here we have to find the percolation rate. So according to formula, what will we do? Volume of water percolated. So here volume of water percolated is 100 ml. Divide by time taken for percolation. How much time is taken? 10 minutes. Right? So if I solve it, percolation rate will come out to be 10 milliliter per minute. Be careful with the units always. 10 milliliter per minute. Right? Based on this formula, numericals can be asked in the exams. So be particular. This was just the example. In the similar way, one example is given in your NCERT also. Right? Go through that also. So we have found percolation rate of water, where the volume of water that was percolated is 100 ml and time taken to percolate is 10 minutes. Right? So we calculate and we find out that 10 milliliter in per minute is the percolation rate of the water. Right? Now, next property that is left is soil can absorb water. We have to do next activity, that is soil can absorb water. Fourth property. 3 we have proved. Next is, fourth is soil can absorb water. It is similar to that also. You will have to prove this property. Before proving, let me tell you, as you all know, soil has some air spaces inside it, right? When you add water, some of the water, as I told you previously, some of the water passes through the soil, जिसको हमने बोला percolation, right? While where does the rest amount of water goes? This amount of water, it is absorbed by the soil particles. To prove this, let us do an activity. He is saying for that you have to take 3 graduated cylinders. Better graduated cylinders you might be knowing. They are there in our lab. Here we are drawing 3 graduated cylinders. Like this. You can use the scale, right, to make the straight lines. These are the graduated cylinders. Now what you have to do after taking these cylinders, you have to put funnel over it. In each cylinder, you have to keep the funnel. What you have to keep? You have to keep the funnel in it. Right? Like this. Funnel we are keeping. Right? In these funnels, you have to keep the filter papers. I have kept the filter papers. Now students, in first funnel, add one type of soil. Say I am adding sandy soil in this. Sandy soil. Then in second I am adding clay soil. In third, I am adding loamy soil. Right? Where? Here. Inside the funnel papers. Equal amount of soil you have to take. Right? Now what you have to do? Take equal amount of water. Take equal amount of water, and here I have kept the soil. Right? Equal amount of soil. 50 milligrams you can say. Now add water to it. Same amount of water you have to add. Say 50 ml of water I am going to add in all the three cylinders. This is the water I am adding. Okay. Now what happen is you will see that water will start coming out drop by drop from all of these funnels into the graduated cylinders. Now leave this apparatus for some time. Just for some time leave it so that water gets collected in these graduated cylinders. Right? After some time, what you will see, you have to check the volume of water. What you have to do? You have to check the volume of water. What you will see, maximum water is present where you have added sandy soil. Right? And in case of clay soil, here very less amount of water is collected. And in case of loamy soil, average amount of water gets collected in between both. What does it show? It will show that this water which gets collected in graduated cylinders, it is percolated water which comes down of the particles. But when you measure it, suppose you have taken 50 ml of water. In every cylinder you have poured 50 ml of water. Now when you calculate, you find here is 40 ml only, here is 10 ml only, and here it is 35 ml. Where does the rest of water go? Rest of the water is absorbed by the particles of the soil. Because sandy soil is more porous, it has more spaces. So more of the water is percolated, only very less amount of water is absorbed. While clay soil, it has the more capacity to hold the water. So large amount of water is absorbed by clay soil. While on the other hand, loamy soil, it can hold right amount of water, average amount of water. So little bit of water is absorbed while rest of the water is percolated. Now here we have to find what is the percentage of water that is absorbed. Again there is one formula to find the percentage of water absorbed. I will not erase it. I will show you from here only. Suppose you have taken, as I told you, 50 gram of soil in each case. Weight of soil was 50 gram that you had taken. Right? This I told you. Then the volume of water that you pour, that was 50 ml. The volume of water that you pour is 50 ml. Now, what is the amount of water collected? What is the amount of water collected? Volume of water collected. It depends on which type of soil you are taking. Suppose I am taking X. So what will happen? What will be the formula? सबसे पहले you have to find weight of amount of water absorbed by soil. Amount of water absorbed. How will you find? Based on this, formula will be 50 minus x. Means जितना आपने पानी डाला माइनस जो वाटर कलेक्ट हुआ. राइट. सपोज फर्स्ट केस में 50 माइनस 40 था. तो व्हाट वाज द अमाउंट ऑफ वाटर एब्सॉर्ब्ड? 10 what? Gram. Right? Now how to find the percentage? Percentage of water absorbed. You all know. Here you have to apply maths. This is the amount of water absorbed. 10 out of total amount 50. कितनी soil कितना पानी डाला था हमने? 50 and here 100. Right? This is the formula. It is 20%. Only 20% of water is absorbed by the sandy soil. In the similar way, it will differ. This percentage, it will differ in every case. Right? You can, instead of 40, you can put the value of x for this. This was clay soil. Right? Accordingly, there will be a difference in the percentage from that of sandy soil. This is loamy soil. You can write its value and you can find out the percentage. So here we have covered 4 properties of soil, out of which 2 were numerical based. Right? Now coming to the last topic of this chapter, that is soil and crops. बच्चे, different types of soil, it is found at different places, right? And the type of soil, it depends on climatic conditions, type of rock present over there, parent rock present over there, and type of vegetation growing over there. Climate plays very important role in this. What type of wind is there, what is the amount of rainfall, what temperature is there, humidity is there, they all are the important factors. Right? Now, the type of soil and these climatic factors, they determine which type of crop is to be grown in that soil. First of all, clay soil. It is good for growing paddy, rice, as it can hold water. In the same way, this sandy soil, it is good for growing cotton because it can drain water easily and it can absorb large amount of air. Right? So in this way, different types of crops can be grown in different types of soil. Now beta, last topic of the day, that is care for environment. As you all know, soil is a very valuable natural resource, right? But what we people are doing, we are damaging the soil, we are polluting the soil. How? Our interference in the nature, that is, we are cutting the trees, deforestation is done, we are adding insecticides, pesticides, chemicals, industrial waste we are dumping in the soil. They all what are doing? Polluting the soil. So it is a topmost priority to take care of the soil, to conserve the soil, because if once the soil will become infertile, plants will not be able to grow. There will be no forestation and nothing will survive here. Right? So we must take care. We should grow more plants. We should treat industrial waste before dumping into the soil. We should take care of the soil. We should take care of our planet. This was all about the chapter. We have finished this chapter. Tomorrow we will be doing the practical as I told you earlier. And in next class we will be discussing the question answers. Right? Till then, bye. Enjoy. Make sure these days as festivals are going on and we are suffering from the pandemic of corona, take care of yourself. Okay? When you are going outside, take precautions, maintain distancing, wear mask and boost up your immunity by taking healthy diets, vitamin C rich diets. Thank you. Stay safe, stay healthy.